Really? Really, you two raiders, I unmute my mic. Midnight, stop being a butt! Anyway, hello everyone, I am Audius Wolf, and I welcome you back to Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I know I did say that I would be streaming with my friends, and Walker when it came out, but another friend pointed out that, doing so during, the pre-release? I guess, I can't remember what it is. Ah! The early access, that's the word I'm looking for. Doing so during the early access would probably not be a good idea, and then I kind of got really caught up in actually going through the story, but I got this. I got a pretty pony. Why does it have 6 legs? I don't know. Anyway, we are going to go through more Heavensward and try to find Iceheart. Oh, there's my tiny thankred. Yes, pet the tiny thankred. Surely one of these people will have encountered heretics while out hunting. Pray speak with as many as you can, Kaharu. Sure, can do. You! Nay, I know of no heretics. Do you honestly expect me to keep track of I'm not even going to try to pronounce those names. That one is in and out of count. Well, you can buy that one off the market board, Briar. Are there any heretics in the area? I have not the faintest idea. Why, a heretic passed under my nose and I would be none the wiser. I hunt dragons, my dear lady. The big ones. Forever do I scan the skies for signs of my prey. I care not for the miserable creatures that scurry upon the ground. Yes, we are in search of Iceheart currently. Hey look, it's your favorite Estinian model! Briar, it's your favorite Estinian. You say that, yet I know how you reacted to his voice line in the Endwalker dungeons, which was pretty much the exact same as my reaction to it. Looking for heretics, you say? Why don't you go bother? Oh my god, Puriquef or someone. I've enough trouble keeping these preening fops fed and clothed as it is. 'Tis no business of mine what folks do with themselves out there in the wilds. Oh my god, Briar. Oh, you're terrible. Something I can help you with, milady. Heretics, is it? Well, I've never seen one myself, but that ain't to say I haven't heard a thing or two. We would be grateful for any information you can share with us. The gods know we've gleaned precious little from talking to the rest of these people. Yes, it does. If it pleases my lord, I am Puriquet. I have no idea. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. It's French. A soldier by trade, though not much of one, if I'm honest. If it weren't for the love of stabbing folk that I took up this spear, see? No, it was by order of Sir Gentilian Faller. Still, as long as they keep paying me wages, I ain't fussy as to what they have me do. No, no, I gave up on trying to say his name. That's what it was. For Ishgardian names, or just Elizan names in general, I literally cannot pronounce them unless they're said in-game. Like, actually voice acted and said. Pierrekeet. Not everyone is as patient as me, though. Plenty of lowborn lads who get pressed into service start grumbling before they've seen their second battle. And once they've got to thinking how unfair it all is, it don't take much for the heretics to turn their heads. From what I hear, the simple promise of freedom tends to do it. Wait, does this make him a parakeet? Friar! Friar! Parakeet! Parakeet! Oh no! Oh, it's terrible! That may explain how Lady Iceheart was able to expand her following so swiftly. Sad to say, some mates of mine gobbled down the heretics' tribe in asked for seconds. They told me they were off to the western highlands to light a signal fire. That's how you let the heretics know you're serious about joining their ranks, apparently. Send up some purple smoke and the bastards come to you. Is that so? Why then? I am minded to start a fire. Estinian, no! If we are to lure our foes into our position, we must find a means to produce a signal of purple fire. As it so happens, I once heard a tale of a trapper who dropped the hide of a woolly yak onto his campfire. Aside from the terrible stench, the story also describes in detail how the smoke from the smothered flames was tinged of deep violet. If you are a monster hunter of some note, are you not, Kaharu? It should prove a trifling task for you to procure a number of hides. We may need to burn more than one ere the heretics notice our beacon. Master Alphino, you and I shall gather wood for the fire. It will take the both of us to find enough dry fuel in this frozen wasteland. Let us meet again at the Dreaming Dragon with the fruits of our labor. Angry Lizard needs more clothes. Don't you judge my angry lizard. The mastery over fire. Alright. I'll leave that one because another player's already fighting it. Excuse me. Really? Okay, and I need to kill one more. There you are. Hey! Look at me! There we go. Now let's go find Justinian. On our six-legged horse. Why does it have 6 legs? I have no idea. But there you are. Oh, we both know Sinian has a soft spot for Alpha Briar. Why are you angry? Are you still going on about that? Oh my god. To seem that collecting firewood is a new experience for Master Alphino. He must have had a privileged upbringing. Ahem. Have you the hides we need?
Ah, I should have known it would be you.
Is it just me or does she say that first word like really weird? Ah.
Word reached me of a struggle with a small but well-armed band of trespassers. Forgive my comrades their hostility. Few come here uninvited, and fewer still with good intent. Now, tell me why you are here. So, you seek to stem the Dravanian tide with talk? A romantic notion.
Midnight, can you finish whatever you're doing and just settle in my lap, please?
If you but knew the truth, the spark which lit the flames of this animosity, you would understand the futility of your quest.
Don't care. Let's go Parley with dragons.
Shall I relate it to you? The sordid history my gift has shown me. That which the Holy See has taken such pains to suppress.
Sure. Okay, Midnight, you're just being annoying at this point.
'Twas more than a millennium past when an Elizan tribe first sought to claim the lands of Kurthas as its home. Unfortunately for them, Kurthas was already home to dragonkind, and they were not inclined to make way for the invaders. Thus did a bloody war begin. A war which might well have rumbled on until one or the other side was exterminated, had it not been for the resolve of a single woman. That woman's name was Shiva. While those around her fought and died, she attempted to parley with the dragons, and in so doing discovered them to be possessed of profound intelligence and reason. The great worm, Heavensward, in particular so enchanted Shiva that she found herself growing to love the creature, whom her people considered a monster. In the eyes of a near-immortal dragon, however, the fleeting life of an Elizan is as that of a freshly cut rose. Scarce has the flower bloomed before it begins to fade and wither. Such melancholy musings plagued Heavensward, who had found in Shiva an unexpected and beloved soulmate. He knew that all too soon, death would snatch her away from him.
For the love of God, cat,
unable to
settle
bear
in
the
my
thought
lap.
of their separation, the maid bid the worm consume her, that their spirits might be entwined for eternity. Though loath to perform the deed, Heavensward ultimately gave in to her plea, and soon thereafter the tale of their ill-fated love spread throughout the two warring factions. No more could they raise blade or claw against one another, knowing that the souls of their kin were so inextricably bound. In the days that followed, man and dragon learned to live in harmony, and together built a nation unlike any the world had ever known. For 200 years did this blissful age of peace continue, as it would to this day, Had vilest envy not stirred in the hearts of the Elezen. It is said that worms owe their longevity to the boundless reserves of vitality found within their eyes. And 'twas in this belief that a traitorous band of knights deceived their allies of some 2 centuries, and took by force that which they coveted. Nidhogg, he who now stands poised to unleash his wormlings upon Ishgard, was the great dragon who lost an eye to Elezen treachery. And until he prizes it from the hands of the traitor's progeny, no amount of conciliatory words will stay his fury.
You are wrong, Lady Iceheart. Lest you misunderstand, I do not doubt your vision of the past. 'Tis true that Nidhogg greatly desired to reclaim the Eye. Indeed, it was for that very reason that I kept it with me as I roamed the land, attempting to draw him away from the city.
Good gods!
Until recently, Nidhogg seemed unable to resist its allure and pursued me relentlessly. Needless to say, that is no longer the case. Now, it would seem, he has fixed his attention on Ishgard itself, though he knows full well the Eye does not reside there.
Briar, no, we do not eat dragon eyeballs.
You believe he targets the capital for another reason?
I believe reason has all but left him. Through the Eye, I feel much of what Nidhogg feels. And the dragon's thirst for vengeance will not be quenched by aught less than a sea of blood.
We do not eat dragon eyeballs! He didn't eat them, though. It was kind of the other way around.
If Nidhogg is indeed lost to reason, might we not seek an audience with Hraesvelgr instead? He has thus far shown no inclination to aid in the invasion of Ishgard, and may yet welcome our efforts to broker a peace.
You still believe that a peaceable solution can be found? Very well. I will take you to him.
I'm not skipping this because I want to go through the story again and because I'm streaming it.
Our road will lead us to Dravania, the homeland of dragonkind. There we shall ascend unto the clouds, where Hraesvelgr resides.
Oh! Ow, okay, my heart hurts, apparently. You know I have ways to torment you back, Briar. Crystal! The first crystal has returned!
Is aught amiss, my friend?
I I'm fine, Alphino. Don't worry about it.
I sense the many battles are beginning to take their toll. Rest a while. And should you lose sight of us, Dravania lies beyond the mountains to the west.
Hello, Midgard's armor.
Curious. The vestiges of thy mistress's blessing are not as faint as once they were. Thy will to succeed grants thee unusual fortitude. But will it be enough?
Yes. Yes, it will. Get out of here. Where am I? Alright, Yzael, lead the way. Yakaharu, yes? Pray, address me as Yzael, if you wish. 'Tis passing strange, is it not, that fate should bring us together thus? Never did I think to walk alongside the warrior of light. But history is full of such unexpected alliances. Shall we make our way into Dravania, then? The chill of the western highlands is unrelenting, and I would sooner be under the sheltering canopy of the Chocobo Forest. Go away, weird pudding thing. Nobody cares. Through the cave.
Beyond Abalathia's spine, the great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of Som-Al, where lies the ancient home of dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the skies seethe with sinuous shapes, they came.
Oh, I see an ether current already. We now stand on the threshold of Dravania. The path to Som-Al will take us far to the west, beyond the embrace of the forest branches. I know, Briar. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest up at the village up ahead and see that we are properly provisioned? There's a village here. But I thought these lands the sole domain of dragonkind. Why would anyone choose to live in so perilous a place? The wild chocobos. Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Masterchamp, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival. And he will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections? Only to this ceaseless chatter. If we are to meet this acquaintance of yours, let us do it before Ishgard burns. He's so salty! I will take this ether current. Excuse me a moment while I get the etherite. Hello, friend. Well, tan my hat and call me Leatherface. We have visitors. Oh no. Oh, and if it ain't the lovely Yuzail, it's been too long, girl. Aye, that it has, Master Champ. That it has. Look at Justinian just leaning on the wall back there. My companions and I are on a pilgrimage to Som Al. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while and prepare for the next leg of our journey? Of course, of course. Stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragons have been absolutely bleeding murderous of late. Forgive me, sir, but I am not sure I understand. Do the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Bother us? Did you say I'll not explain things to you, boy? You've seen them towering... Oh, brain, work with me. Calum trees all about, haven't you? If you were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. And as you'd expect, local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere, and we can do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. Now, I know it won't stop Yuzail here, but dragons ain't the only things you'll need to keep an eye out for, especially if you're set on heading west. Okay, no. Not better gear. I dare say you're wondering what could be bloody worse than dragons, eh? Well, I'll tell you, the bloody Nath. They're what you might get if you cross an antling with a megalocrab and taught the thing how to walk on two legs. I love that description. They never used to stray far from their hives out of fear of the dragons, but they've gotten a lot more aggressive of late, sending out war parties for moms in all directions. They've even taken to harassing the Dravanians in their own lairs, if you can believe it. And when they venture into the forest, which is more and more, by the way, they certainly ain't afraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse it'd be close to the Nath's home territory. Twould seem that much has changed in Dravania. The Nath were not wont to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here? In Dravania? Aye, 'twas in the time following the calamity. My family was dead, my home was gone, and I had fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the path of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its boughs. That was when I chanced upon Hraesvelgr. He had descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of the majestic worm, nor the vision of the past his presence visited upon me. Thankfully, Marsa Champ found my unconscious form at the edge of the trees and nursed me back to health, and in Tailfeather I remained for some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals. But I interrupted you. You were saying these Nath were once a peaceful people? Peaceful would not be the most fitting description. They are a fiercely territorial tribe, and anyone who would intrude upon the domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, we were even able to trade with them on occasion. They have changed then. What of it? We have not the time to creep through the underbrush on some roundabout route. I say we make straight for Som Al and crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path then. Very well. Let us first follow the trail west out of the forest and make for the statue of the Stained One. From there we should have a fair view of the road that leads to Som All. Shall we? Estinian, stop being salty. Alright, I'm just going to get this sightseeing log real quick. Give me my sightseeing log! Yes! Anyway, let us continue on. I will, of course, do all these side quests in my spare time, so you guys don't have to endure that. I haven't even faced the dude that you get this armor from, but the armor is really pretty. The chocobo armor, I mean. Okay. Here we are. Oh, I have to resummon my shield. There they are. Oh wait, there's no my... Okay. I derped. My brain is derp. Oh, go away, Flea. Nobody cares. You know, I might trigger the Bandersnatch too if I get too close. Ether current! Ether current, ether current. Oh, I have to sneeze. Oh, bless me. Whew. There you go. Come, wolf, we away. Am I there yet? Am I there yet, Bandersnatch? Oh, there's the next one. How many of these guys do I have to fight? Is that it? Is that the last of them? Yes! Yes, it is! Yeah, I'm just gonna sneak by these dragons. Here we are. Should we chance to meet Marshchamp again, remind me to thank him. Had he not warned us to expect the Nath, I would have never... I doubt I would be standing here. I can talk, I swear. amid ruins that I would tentatively describe as Ishgardian. The style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have a scholar's eye, Master Alphino. The structure is, in fact, over 1,000 years old. It is a remnant of the age when our ancestors and dragonkind lived together in peace. You claim this is evidence of our harmonious past. I was taught that these buildings were constructed by heretics in honor of your Dravanian masters. This rebel inspires no such awe in me. Estinian, stop being a grump. Stubborn fool, how desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threaten the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Kaharu, pray reason with these two. There. The truth of the past will be revealed. Now shut up! Quite. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent a war which will claim the lives of Dravanians and Ishgardians alike. If we are to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. Trust in Kaharu's gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough, Estinian. You would have me keep my counsel until Kaharu's visions confirm the truth? Very well, but bait me not. Our meeting with Hraesvelgr will likely provide the catalyst Kaharu's gift requires, as it did mine. Let us press on. Excuse you! I just got out of a cutscene! Piss off! You're so rude! Spy you the 3 great towers to the west. I see 1 tower, not 3. Ishgardians know them as Annexed Shrine. The place serves as a roost for Hraesvelgr's lesser kindred. If we are to reach the peak of Samal, then we must first besiege these dragons to open the way. But do not be disheartened. The one who leads them is a friend. Of rather more concern is the disposition of the Nath. Let us survey the approach to the towers and see if the path is clear. Oh, I see the 3 towers. Let us continue on our way. And there's the Nath Hive that we are trying to avoid. We just gotta continue on towards the tower. Towers, I guess, technically. Here we are. Here's my group of misfits. Tis as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with Nath soldiers. Champ did not exaggerate then. These beastmen have grown brazen indeed if they would threaten the dragon so openly. Do they intend to assault the lair itself? I pray they do not. Mighty though my Dravanian friends are, they are yet vulnerable to the Nath's muskets. There's no route save the one before us. Should the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. Oh, that was the wrong button. Away! Oh, my Choco leveled up. I think. Yeah, he did. Alright. I'm making you be a tank. So there you go. Good Chocobo. That's a weird sound. That is a very weird sound. Ever onward we go. Look at that. Give me a sec. I quickly grab this summoning stone. I don't use them, but I still grab them anyway. I take no pleasure in killing the Nath. 'Twas to avoid bloodshed that I agreed to join you on this journey. Well, it cannot be helped. We may proceed into the courtyard together, but leave the task of hailing its occupants to me. And keep your lance on your back, Dragoon. On my word, the Warrior of Light, I shall start no fight, only finish it. You truly are beyond salvation. Come then.
Vidofnir!
Hello.
Ah, 'tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Nath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight. Thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother.
Yes.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye?
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
Estinian, chill.
You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace.
My sires will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Hraesvelgar in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here, and protect my kin from the Nath's god.
The Nath have summoned a primal.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed?
You don't know who I am, do you?
'Tis beyond thee, mortal. But thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee naught.
It would seem we have no choice but to make good on Alphino's offer. Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war?
That's just how life is sometimes, Azale. That's just how life is sometimes. So the Nath have summoned their god, and thus is the mystery of their newfound belligerence laid to rest. Are you not glad, Lady Iceheart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to further their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to Saint Shiva to further mine own ends. I desired her strength only to forge anew the peace between man and dragon. But what a fool I am to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thought or compunction. Enough! Enough, I say! If the Nath have truly brought forth their deity from the ether, we must face it together or watch our hopes fall apart. All now rest upon this primal's defeat. But ere we think of confronting it, we must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of faith sustains its existence? My apologies. You are right, of course. Let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Marschamp. He knows more of the Nath and their culture than most. Yeah, hold on a moment. Hold on a moment. Hold on a moment. I'm not leaving yet. I'm not leaving until I do this. Okay, now we can leave. Just teleport back. It's faster. Ugh. Reclaim my arm from the cat. Oh ho, back already, are we? Ah, met the Nath, did you? And what is it you'd like to... Summoned a primal, you say? 7 hells. Well, I don't know bugger all about Nath religion, if I'm honest. Beyond their Beyond their trading habits, there never seemed much point in asking. But it shouldn't be that hard to find out. From time to time we barter with a small hive to the north and west of here. Outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I reckon they'd be willing to tell you a bit about themselves, if you give them the right incentives. That sounds promising. And what exactly would a NAF consider to be the right incentives? Oh, nothing your average hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two, but seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourselves. You want a good-sized jar of landtrap nectar, a basket of calincum tree fruit, and, always a NAF favorite, a generous portion of young Nonka flesh. I shall gather the fruit. Leaping to the lower branches of these forest giants should present a little challenge to me. Thank you, Estinian. Then I shall collect the nectar with Master Alphino's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring home the meat. You need to carve it from the smaller Nonkas that live in the rivers. 3 big hunks should be enough, I reckon. Once you've gotten everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post. Here, I'll mark this spot on your map for you. You've been most kind, Master Marsichamp. Well then, let us attend to our respective tasks and reconvene at the trading post. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nonka egg. Alphino, no. Alright, off we go. Now the best way to find where the Nonkas are is, naturally, follow the water source. Now we want the small Nonkas, not the big ones. Though, given the big ones are hostile, I might have to kill 1 or 2 of them. Okay, that's 1. Yep, okay. How about you piss off? I need more air. More white magic, so here we are. There we go, and that should be enough. Alright, let's go find the others. And avoid the giant trees that like eating the things that grow from the top of their heads. I don't know why they do that, but they do. The creatures in this game are kind of weird. Alphino, I return. I was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known how to harvest it without Uzale's help. Do you have the Nonka meat? Of course I do. Here you go. Splendid. I shall put this with Estinian's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the Nath. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings at the trading post as instructed. Were I of the Nath, I would be suitably impressed. I think I would be suitably impressed. Well, how long must we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? Calm yourself, Master Alphino. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. Long has it been since hunters last came to trade, bearing gifts that filled the air with such delightful scents. Landchap nectar, kaolum tree fruit, and nunca flesh. What delectable foods you have brought for us. Our meager existence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters, come to our hive if you would trade. Cramped and stifling though our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. But better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched under dragon jaws. Yes, come, it is not far. These guys are so weird, I love them. And into the hive we go. And there was they might have taken that ether current away. Yeah, I don't see the ether current that was here before. I don't know where it is, but that's okay. Hello! Your presence here has been announced to the storyteller. You must speak with our chosen leader in words, for we are Vath. We are the non-mind. Welcome to our hive, hunters. You have brought delicacies much sought after by our people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honored Elder, pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I have come in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone? What strange hunters you are! But if it is words you desire, then words you shall have. We are the Vath, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You will hear the tale of the Nath's god, of the god the One Mind summoned into our midst. The One Mind. These are the Nath who reside in the main colony. Yes, they are one, connected. But let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew in from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was swarmed by my brethren, and with spear and spell and musket the dragon was slain. 'Twas likely one that had fled the battle with my kinsman. I should commend you for finishing the job. Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground, but no longer. They had learned that a battle-weary Dravanian was easy prey. Thus did the Overmind decide to heed the words of the black-robed man. The One Mind will call forth our god and unleash his blades upon the dragons. Dravanian lands would become Nath lands, and ever larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards for this war. We of the Vath despise and revile his insatiable existence. I'm not sure that ring of casting is going to do anything. No, it's in here. Let me see. Oh! Oh, it is better than the one I was, that I had. Okay. Oh, because it replaced the iron. It replaced the healing one. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yazael! I call upon the power of Primal for the greater good, conscious all the while that I do so at grave cost to the land. I reason that it is a necessary evil and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. In suggesting that such crimes can be justified, you may argue that I presume too much, but you must surely see that I am aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Nath. They summon their deity for no greater purpose than to expand their dominion. To a Scion of the Seventh Dawn, one sworn to eliminate the primal threat, the distinction you draw seems questionable at best. But the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, I at least understand them. Not so the Nath, as you rightly put it. If they truly seek naught but territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant of the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer this primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. How lightly you propose the destruction of this god, Master Alphino, a being of whom we know not. Has it occurred to you that you may be sending the Warrior of Light to her death? No, You have the right of it, Estinian. 'Twould seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray, forgive me, Kaharu. I do not fear my duty, Alphino. Wait, Kaharu need not face this foe alone. Like her, I am blessed with the Echo's protection, and may do battle without fear of primal influence. Let me bear this burden. Let me bear this burden. I swear I can words. Ha! Do you truly imagine yourself a second Warrior of Light? Remind me, how many primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters. We know not where this god resides, or how to challenge it. Unless you mean to pray until it appears. Estinian makes a valid point. Let us speak with the Vath, and learn how to best secure an audience with their deity. In this, at least, I may be of assistance. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth. We are Vath. We are the non-mind. We do not hear the one mind's thoughts. We cannot predict their will. That's not helpful. You wish to meet our god? Offer yourself as a sacrifice and you will soon be brought before him. We would mourn the loss of such generous hunters, however. Put this idea from your minds, generous hunters. If you meet with our god, he will have your souls. Surely you are not so generous as that. Alphino? Alphino? Oh, no, you. You are generous hunters, yes? Many gifts you have brought, but not enough for all Vath to enjoy. Maybe you could bring us just one more. We are very fond of Nonka flesh. Yes, the meat of young Nonka would make a fine repast. Really? Really? Oh, fine. I'll go get more Nonka flesh. Again. Ugh. Here we are. Go, Chocobo! Okay, I like how it just kind of flips over like that when it dies. We've out doing dry Nonka flesh. Have you been out hunting yet? Another gift for the Vath? So unexpected. Excuse you? Excuse you? I am in the middle of something here. Yeah, you piss off. Here, take your Nonka flesh. So unexpected. Yes, you'll have more of the words you strange hunters hunger for. Listen now. The senses of the one mind are enmeshed by the overmind. What one sees, all see. What one feels, all feel. Alert a single Nath and the whole hive is alerted. To reach our god undetected is all but impossible. You missed a giant tree walking into the Vath hive and getting me caught in the AoE while I was trying to talk to this Vath. It was super rude. The Vath are wont to allude to certain concepts without explanation, but I believe I am beginning to grasp a few of the fundamentals. From what I understand, the king-like overmind sits at the center of Nath society, and its presence somehow allows its subjects to communicate without need of word or gesture. These Nath, the ones who inhabit the larger hive, are known as the One Mind, and it was by their combined will that the Primal was summoned. Those who reside over the smaller hive, however, the Vath, or the non-mind, who, for reasons that yet escape me, seem to have been excluded from the telepathic bond which connects the Nath counterparts. Thus, the Vath are ignorant of the One Mind's thoughts and intentions, and of the nature of their own god. Calm down, Chocobo. The tree is gone. And of the nature of their own god. In summary, we have wasted our time. Not so. Perilous though it may be, the Vath did furnish us with one certain method of approaching the Primal, as sacrifices. Should we allow ourselves to be captured in the environs of the colony, the Nath will bring us before their deity to make an offering of our souls. Are you going? No, you're going to continue your weird dance. Okay. Forgive me, but let us be clear about what it is that you propose. You mean to say that you would deliberately provoke the Nath, surrender yourself into what might generously be termed their custody, and then wait until their god arrives to claim your soul. Aye, that fairly describes my plan. You'll join me in this endeavor, will you not, Kaharu? Judging by the great risks you took to prevent the summoning of Saint Shiva, you are not a woman to err on the side of caution. Would that I could fight at your side, Warrior of Light, but the power of the dragon is no protection against primal influence. Forgive me, but I must remain here with Master Alphino. Then it is settled. Kaharu, you and I shall challenge the guards at the entrance to the colony. Once the hive is roused, we shall feign a brief show of resistance, and then allow them to take us prisoner. Okay, stop your dancing. There you go. Chocobos. Jumpy wolf. Jump. And we have arrived to the Nath hive mind. Hello, Nath drone. Oh, I have to talk to you. Intruders! Your lives are forfeit! Go, Chocobo, go! Oh. Okay. Oh, right, I have to talk to Uzale. Uzale! Uzale, 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 Uzale! Go away! Go away, I don't care. Uzale! Why are you so tall? Your mind must by now be aware of our intrusion. Let us press on into the hive and ensure that we have our host's undivided attention. Into the hive we go. Zill's having fun. There we go. Oh, there's more. There's always more. Ooh, okay. Okay. Now to sneak further. Sneak, sneak. Not very sneaky, but I'm trying. Oh, there's an ether current. Ether current, give. Anyway. That should be sufficient. If we do not have our host's full attention before, we must surely have it now. Our audience with the Primal may be granted soon after our capture. Pray, advise me once you have steeled your mind for the battle to come. Uzale, I'm always ready to fight Ravana. I am always ready to fight this guy. Are you prepared then? Yes. Hold here, Kaharu. When the next Nath come, we offer no resistance. Surrender, intruders! There is no escape! Enough! We surrender. We throw ourselves upon the mercy of your god. They seem eager to proceed. Good. When they take us before their lord, pray leave matters to me. Of what I know of summoning rituals holds true, I shall be well placed to act. Mark the sound of the river rushing through the ravine behind us. Passing loud, is it not? I imagine the noise would serve to mask our escape should we need to withdraw temporarily. But you are prepared, are you not? I do hope so. If I were to be dragged away for sacrifice while you were haggling over the price of potions, I should not be amused. I do what I want, Yzael.
Now we have but to wait.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
O Lord Ravana, master of the sacred blades, wrath of the colony, conqueror of the world, hear our prayer. Pray grant unto your devoted children the gift of your divine presence.
You ready for this? I'm ready for this. I am so ready for this. I love this guy.
He comes.
There's my boy.
All strength to the colony. Speak and I shall listen.
Ravana!
Oh, glorious general, we have captured intruders and would make unto you an offering of their life's blood. These feeble fleshlings dared to invade Natlands.
I'm so tiny next to Yzael.
Hear me, Lord Ravana. My companion and I did not come to contest your children's territory. We wished only to learn the reason you wage war against the dragons.
Thou wouldst flirt with death merely to satisfy thy curiosity.
Yes.
Wherefore should the glorious conquests of the Nath concern thee so, Elezen? Ah, mayhap thine own kind struggle against the worms fareth poorly, and thou art desirous of a pact.
Yes, but also no.
We crave no alliance, Lord Ravana. Only peace. We would bring an end to our war with the dragons. Yet so long as they remain embroiled in this conflict with your children, our goal shall remain out of reach. Never before have the Nath risen up in such numbers, and never yet with you at their head. Why do you lead them to war?
Thy question hath no meaning. To live is but to fight. Long have my children waited, gathering their strength in the shadow of thy ceaseless conflict. The North would see the Dravanians slain, and their territories secured. And by such fervent prayers am I now given form and purpose.
As I feared, your very existence is an obstacle to our goal. Since you are so fond of fighting, we challenge you, Lord of the Nath.
Yeah!
And should we emerge the victors, I would have you swear to withdraw your soldiers from Dravanian soil.
Thou art bold indeed to risk thy fleshy hide so readily.
Really?
Very well. I, Ravana, fourfold Master of the Blade, do accept thy challenge. But should I emerge the victor, I would have thee swear to serve in mine army till thy last breath is spent. Do you accept?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I do. And I believe the first bout is mine.
What is this? A god clad in flesh?
What was that sound he just made?
Is aught amiss, my lord? Thou wilt not break thy word, I trust.
Mine oath is unbending as steel, little goddess. Thy ruse will but add to mine enjoyment.
Fight! Yep. Ow.
I thought myself stronger. Mayhap with more crystals?
Be thou god or maid, thou art nothing to me. And what of thee, mortal? Art thou warrior or craven?
Ah, you do not know what kind of warrior I am, do you?
Mayhap thou will provide more sport than thy feeble companion.
Ravana came, he saw, he kicked Shiva's ass and left. Forgive me, I was overconfident. Alright! Let's see how long this queue takes. Less than 5 minutes. I'ma just sit. Yes. And now we get to wait until the queue decides to pop. I love Ravana. He's... Oh... Ravana is a treasure. I love Ravana so much. Susanoo is pretty good as well, just how enthusiastic he is about everything, you know? Okay, what am I imagining, Briar? I don't think the world... I don't think the star could be able to handle a spot between Susanoo and Ravana, Briar. Oh my god. I think the planet would get destroyed before we had a chance to watch it burn, Briar. Good. You deserve Dorian yelling at you for that. Come on, DPS, wake up! Wake up. Look at him! Look at his glory! All of his majesty!
to the song of ringing steel.
Alright. Come on.
Furious as a blaze.
I should be good when I am.
Perish.
Yep.
Bleed.
Into the middle.
Feel my blaze.
When we want to get behind him. I need more white magic.
I am invincible. Bleed. Wilt thou yield?
No, I will not.
Take wing, ye souls of war!
Okay, this is that phase. Yep. This. Okay, almost all of them. Got him. Now we just gotta wait for the phase shift. Here it is.
Prepare thyself!
Got it off!
Rejoice in the glory of combat!
Beautiful.
Unyielding of the earth!
I think kind of version with the wall there for a moment. That was weird. Are you serious?
Bested me. Thus does the sacred rite of combat proclaim the victor. I lay my blades at thy feet, child of man.
And thus was victory gained. And I guess nobody's getting a commendation for me. Somebody gave me a commendation though, apparently. Yeah, you run away.
You do not disappoint, warrior of light. Would that I had your skill in battle. I do begin to see why so many place their faith in you.
I don't know. It just ends up happening.
For all his savagery, I do not think Ravana one to break his word. Provided the dragons do not trespass upon Nath lands, they should have little to fear of the Primal's biting blades. We have done well, have we not? Come, let us return to Vidofnir and share these glad tidings.
Ah, hello.
Once more you achieve the impossible, bringer of light. But with every mortal heart that succumbs to fear and fury, another voice is joined to the chorus, beseeching divine succor. At their bidding, warring gods will shake the firmament, and your world will be consumed in the swelling storm of chaos.
Oh god. Honestly, I forget she exists most of the time. Ever since we first fought have I seen you draw upon the full extent of your power, and never from afar until this day. You are a marvel to behold, Kaharu. Well, 'tis time we rejoined our companions. They will be eager to hear the tale, and to continue our journey. Yep, same. It's like I have some vague recollection that she's there, but I forget she exists until I see her, and then it's like, oh, that's right, you're a thing. You know? Go away, tree. Nobody cares. Unfortunately, I cannot just teleport to where the Vath are, rather. So gotta do this the long way. Yes, Briar, the tree is very rude. Alphino! Gaharu, Lady Azael, thank the 12. Lord Ravana, you say? How curious that the Vath never mentioned his name. And you are quite certain he will keep his word. There was honor beneath his savagery. That we survived the encounter at all was a miracle I must attribute to Gaharu. Never did I doubt you, Warrior of Light. Unlike some. You were gone for so long the Master Alphino here nigh lost his wits with worry, fretting like a maid for her sweetheart he was. Estinian, was that truly necessary? Not truly necessary, but certainly true. What matters is the primal is banished and our promise fulfilled. We should return to Vidofnir without delay. Lest you forget, this was but a means to secure an audience with the worm Hraesvelgr. Oh. Briar! Briar, I don't think he's the type to hug people. Nidhogg's minions will not be halted by idle chatter. Come now, we must make every moment count. You're unkind, Estinian. For all his experience and intellect, Alphino is still but a boy. You're imagining corks on his armor now, aren't you? Yep! Shall be on our way to Annex Shrine then. I would not have the dragons think that we have forgotten our bargain. That's exactly what you're thinking of, I called it. Oh, hold on. Oh, need to plug in my headphones. They're running out of battery. There we go. Headphones have been plugged in. She pounced on him for hugs and glow. He wasn't really all that prickly after all. Oh my god. Thou art returned, little one. Hast thou abandoned thine ill-conceived contest with the Nath? Nay, my friend. We returned in triumph. By Gaharu's hand was the beastman's god Lord Ravana laid low. In his overconfidence, the primal swore to withdraw his followers from your lands in the event of his defeat. A promise we believe he will keep. The Nath shall trouble you no longer. The deity is slain then. How dost thou contend with his biting blades? But the particulars matter not. Thou hast fulfilled thy promise, and I shall fulfill mine. Attend me, mortals. What is that word? Heed you unto the deepest reaches of morn, and there you shall find Halo, the altar from which you may begin your ascent to the summit of Psalm All. But be fairly warned, the minions of Nidhogg shall not lightly suffer your presence on that sacred mound. By your struggles within the cavern shall I judge your party possessed of sufficient fortitude to proceed. We shall not disappoint you, Vidofnir. If memory serves, the Cavern of Morn is entered from the second floor on the central tower. Let us begin the climb. And away we go. Up, 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 up we go. And through here. There's. I almost dropped down the hole by mistake. That would have ended badly. Hello, Thunder. Ah, there's another ether current. Let me up! Let me up! Yay! Run, Chocobo, run! Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I believe this one was prey. Yes, I was correct. Okay, I got it. That's all I wanted. Lovidovnir. Well done, little one. As promised, I shall open the way to Somal Summit for thee and thy companions. Heed me now, children of man. The domain you seek to enter hath not seen visitors of your kind in nigh on 1,000 years. Though I freely grant you passage, your presence will not be welcomed. To my kin, this mountain is revered as holy ground and resting place both. Weigh you the minions of Nidhogg during your ascent, for 'tis certain they shall take great offense to your intrusion. We are grateful for your warnings, gentle Vidofnir. My final words are for thee, Dragoon. Have care to keep the stolen power you wieldest in check, lest it breed further despair. Estinian? The way is open. Let us not tarry here. A moment. Shall we blindly forge on, knowing the dangers that await us? Tiamat herself is said to guard this peak. I do not fear Nidhogg's consort. Any dragon foolish enough to bar our path shall feel the sting of my lance. Spoken like a true butcher. Need I remind you that we have come to parley at peace? Let us be clear, heretic. 'Twas to save Ishgard and her people that I first lent my support to this doubtful venture, and 'tis for their sake that I go now to speak with Hraesvelgr. But I said nothing of Tiamat. Should the opportunity present itself to rid my people of one of their deadliest enemies, I shall take it. That is my duty as Azure Dragoon. You are beyond redemption. We will accomplish nothing by bickering. If we are to meet with Hraesvelgr, our path leads up the mountain. We shall defend ourselves if attacked, but avoid conflict wherever possible. What other choice do we have? It's like I'm guiding children up a mountain. Okay. Well, Heavensward. Song all, please. Okay, we gotta wait. We got a bit of a wait because I'm a DPS. But that's okay. That's okay. Oh, it's that bunny I keep meeting. Oh, that took less time than I thought it would, honestly. Wow. It was quick. Thancred, what do you think of all of this? There is a pig on my back. Hello, tiny one. How are you? Okay, goodbye. The other DPS needs to wake up. Hey, look, it's the bunny I keep running into. Oh, okay. That's what we're doing. Oh, hold on. Eat food. Yeah. Oh, uh-oh. Tank! Tank, I did an oops. Tank, come back. I did oops. Alright. So you want to get rid of first with the trickster. And the tank died. Oh dear. No, I won't be able to keep myself up long enough. Or will I? No. No. I almost did. Almost, but not quite. Beautiful. Get rid of the Drakester because it's a pain in the butt. Alright. Next Drakester. There we go, we're doing good, we're doing okay. Probably get rid of that one before we go through there. Just to make life easier on us. Here we go. Hello, giant ugly plant thing. Oh god. No! Bad! Oh, I should kill the hornet, shouldn't I? Bad hornet! No! Stop it. Go away. Get some help, Hornet. Oh god! That almost ended badly. Yay! I'm gonna agree with that. Apparently I can eat that, so. Here we are. Ow. I do not appreciate. Oh, no displacement for me then, I guess. Oh god, tank sprinting, tank sprinting! Okay, what is in chest? I'll take... Where is the tank? What is happening right now? Oh, these don't actually take that long to cast. Okay. There we go. Onward! Oh lord. That is not a fox, that is a bat. Could you just not do that, please? Earrings, I don't need. Anyway, I can finally do this in relative peace now. Whee! Oh lord, oh god. How dare you? Where's the green one? No, just gonna let him die. I'll read. Oh, I'm probably not gonna get that. Sad. That's unfortunate. What did I just get? Oh, I got the ring. Yep. We're almost there. Almost at the top. Look at this. Look at how pretty this is. Shame about the dragons trying to murder us, though. There we go. This. Bye. Bye, dragon. You wanna be my friend? I warn you, being my friend is kind of dangerous for you. See? Dangerous. Alright, let's see what's in the treasure coffers. Anything? I won't know until I get out of this cutscene. Okay, I can't use this. I think I can use. Oh. Sure, I'll read you. Yeah. Help. Okay, we need more white magic. Running! These up. am I the only one rolling for this stuff? Okay. I'm not gonna complain about that. Oh, oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, oh dear. Stop it, Tiamat. Stop it. Get some help. Get some help, Tiamat. Yeah! I leveled! Ba 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 ba. Do, 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 do. Yes! All the glam items! All the glam items! Oh, I got a commendation. How nice. Oh. Yes, another crystal, give! Give! Yay! Another crystal! Kaharu? I'm okay, don't worry. Twould seem Tiamat was the last. I sensed no other dragons nearby. What is happening? Uh-oh. Estinian! Nidhogg. He roars. He knows we are here then. His fury, it bleeds through the eye. Fear not, I am yet my own master. But the damned worm's wrath burns hotter than flame. Come, the heart of the dragon's homeland yet lies before us. Thus do we add another link to the chain of vengeance. O Saint Shiva, when will it end?
To the peak of Som Al, at the end of a perilous mountain path, whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands floating impossibly atop a sea of clouds. To a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for nigh on 1,000 years. They came.
Welcome to the Churning Mists. I'm gonna hate the beginning of this place. Come, tiny Thancred, we away! I'll will take this, thank you. And this as well. We have reached at last the peak of Som All. 'Tis said to be the highest mountain in all of Eorzea, you know. I thought it cold and Curthus, but the air here carries a chill of a dozen winters. Now that we have scaled the mountain, there remains the problem of finding Heavensward himself. What manner of creature is that? Karu, do my eyes deceive me, or is that a Moogle? That was indeed a Moogle. It is my understanding that they only dwelt within the Twelveswood. I certainly never expected to see one in the Churning Mists. If the Moogle does live here, however, he might know where Heavensward makes his lair. Quickly now, before we lose the creature completely. Yeah, these are the Moogles that everybody hates in particular. The ones in the Churning Mists. Bah, he's gone. Kaharu, we must widen our search. Yes, we did, Alphino. We saw the Moogle. I heard tales of these Moogles, but 'tis the first time I've ever laid eyes on one. They are rather adorable, aren't they? What? Why do you stare at me so? Can I not find a creature adorable? My heart is not surely made of ice. I see no evidence of this Moogle of yours. Are you certain it wasn't a trick of the light? Mayhap 'twas simply one of these strange plants shifting in a breeze. No, Estinian, that was a Moogle. That was most definitely a Moogle. There are no sign of a Moogle in the area. I'm sure I glimpsed the Moogle fleeing in this direction. Could he be concealing himself with magic? Confound it. Could we but enlist the aid of one of the local Moogles, I am certain Heavensward would not elude us for long. Though the eye enables me to sense the presence of dragons, I can only identify Nidhogg's with any certainty. We could wander the mist for days and not know if we are any closer to his brood brother. And those are days we cannot well afford to squander. Shall we divide our forces then? Lady Azale, might I ask you to question any dragons whom you judge it safe to approach? I shall try, yet I fear the influence of Nidhogg's rage will render most of the Dranians in the area deaf to reason. And what of you, Master Alphino? I have not yet given up on the Moogles. Kaharu, come with me to Gridania. I mean to petition the aid of the Moogles kin in the Twelveswood. After that business with Mogomog, I dare say they will be glad to help us. Don't remind me of good King Mogomog. Okay? I still have that song stuck in my head. Assuming you have no need of me, I shall remain here. Nidhogg senses both the loss of his consort and the coming of the Eye, and his attention is firmly fixed on this direction. I need to do what I can to hold his gaze, in the hope that it might delay any action against Ishgard. Thank you, Estinian. Come then, Kaharu, let us make haste for Gridania and rendezvous at Novika's altar. Ah, but I neglected to tell you. There's an aetherite of ancient construction here, which should make the return journey rather less arduous. Pray do not forget to use it. I already did! I already did, and I can just use return. Let's go to the Conjurer's Guild. I sent word to the Elder Seedseer upon arriving in Gridania, and I am pleased to report that she has agreed to grant us an audience. If anyone can help us to contact the 12 Woods Moogles, it is she. We are expected at the Lotus Stand. I trust you are familiar with the Conjurer stationed at its entrance. Obviously, I've been in the Lotus Stand dozens of times by now. Hello, Kane-sana! I bid you welcome, friends. The Admiral spoke of having met with you, but 'tis no less of a relief to see you safe and hail with mine own eyes. We humbly thank you for agreeing to receive us upon such short notice. My lady. And for all you have done for us in our absence. Would it that it were solely to express our gratitude that we came to you this day. Alas, the tides of battle yet dictate our comings and goings. Elder Seedseer, we would beg your wisdom in a matter that may finally bring an end to the Dragonsong War. Speak on, friend. I see. So you seek a means to contact these Moogles of the Churning Mists. Kupopo! I say Kupo! Kupopo, okay. Greetings, Kupoka. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I was struck by the sudden urge to bring you some fruit, Kane, and I'm jolly glad I did. Tell me more about these Moogles in the sky, Kupo. I will gladly tell you all I know, though it amounts to precious little. We encountered a Moogle high in the clouds of Drevania, and had hoped that you and your kin in the Twelveswood might agree to facilitate a meeting. Pray correct me if I am mistaken, Kuplo, but there are legends, are there not, which speak of Moogles who dwell beyond the clouds. There are indeed, Kupo. Long, long ago, when the world was still young, they say my ancestors served the gods up in the heavens. Of course, that was before their masters took to bickering like spoiled children. Ah yes, the tale of good King Mogomog the 12th. He is revered for holding fast to a rope of miraculous length, that his subjects might climb down from the sky and escape to the world below. Ignoring the more fanciful aspects of the tale, it may well be that Kuplo's ancestors hailed from the Churning Mists. Given how long his kin have resided in the Twelveswood, it is perfectly possible that the details of their history have faded into myth. Indeed, Master Alphino, such stories often contain a measure of truth, just like the Moogles of the Churning Mist tell similar tales of the world below. I can well imagine why the one you encountered fled at your approach. Oh, fleeing second nature to us. We often hide when there's larger is come traveling through the forest. Of course, where there's one Moogle, there's bound to be more. Which is why I decided to take a trip to the clouds, Kupo. They surely won't be afraid to talk to me. I was hoping you might say that, Master Kuplo. You will accompany us then? Just you try to stop me, Kupo. I'll admit the thought of venturing outside the Heavensward is a bit unsettling, but I can hardly refuse a chance to meet my distant cousins. If you'll have me, I too will accompany you on this adventure, and lend my voice to your cause as an ambassador of Gridania. But my lady, are you quite certain? How oft has our nation turned to the silence of the seventh dawn in its hour of need? How oft have we asked the warrior of light to risk her life to save our own? Full many times I say to you, and never have they refused us. Thus do I choose to this day to offer mine aid to offer mine aid to our allies for the good of the realm. I just loved like the reactions her guards had. They're just like, what? Is this not just? I love it. A most unexpected and most welcome offer, Elder Seatseer. We would be honored by your presence. They know they can't stop her. Oh, I love it. I just love the reaction her honor guard had. That was amazing. Pray return to the summit and inform our companions of these developments. I will serve as the Elder Seatseer's guide on the journey back to Psalm All. It begin a path I have already trodden. It being a path I have already trodden, I do not anticipate any great difficulties. Besides, we shall have the Elder Seatseer's personal guard to escort us. Alright, back to Psalm All. Yeah, where's the cave? It's over here. Estinian! Estinian, I am back! Hello, I return! How are you? My very jumpy dragoon. Hi, how are you? Well met, Warrior of Light. Nidhogg is not stirred, but he watches us, unblinking. The Elder Seatseer herself answers your call. Then there is naught to do but wait. They are here, Kaharu. Greetings, my friends. I am happy to report that our journey was mercifully uneventful, devoid as the road was of Dravanians. It would seem the dragons have abandoned Psalm All for the churning mists. Elder Seatseer, may I present to you Sir Estinian, Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. 'Tis an honor to meet you, Sir Estinian. I have heard many tales of your order's extraordinary skill and courage. Friends, I feel it only right to inform you that we are not alone. The Moogles are all around us, even as we speak, and I should imagine they are more than a little concerned by the horde of strangers that have descended upon their home. Mayhap now would be an opportune moment to introduce ourselves. This should serve. amazing, of course, but there are so many of them, Kupo. I am Kane-sana. My companions and I have braved the long road from the Twelveswood to share words with you. On this, the occasion of our first meeting, we bring an offering of light and wind. Oh, such a gentle and pleasing glow, Kupo. I am Moglin, the chieftain of this Moogle clan. Chieftain Moglin, it is an honor to meet you. Greetings, I am Kuplokop, ambassador of the Twelveswood Moogles. A Moogle from the world below. Your hide is a different hue, but that palm is unmistakable. I might need a moment here, Kupo. My companions were no less surprised to learn of your existence here amongst the clouds. I hope they did not startle you overmuch in their eagerness to make your acquaintance. Full well can I imagine your wariness. I am told that men have not walked here in nigh on 1,000 winters. Mayhap you will forgive them for their forwardness when I unfold you to the grave matter which brought them into your midst. My companions crave an audience with the great worm Heavensward that they might negotiate an end to the war twixt man and dragon. An end to war, you say? I trust you, Kane-sana. The light of peace shines brightly within your soul. But I'm afraid I cannot say the same But I'm afraid the same cannot be said of your friends. To be plain, we did not hide ourselves because they were the first of your kind to be seen here in 1,000 years. Well, not only because of that. We hid ourselves because we smelled dragon blood. The skies are home to many, many dragons. While some crave peace, such as Heavensward, many others crave the opposite, such as Nidhogg. Suffice to say, we're worried that the presence of your blood-splattered warrior friends will attract the attention of the nastier kind and invite destruction into our happy home. Now just a moment, Chieftain. Koharu may have doiled out the odd thrashing or two, but it's always been for a really good reason. She is a champion of the Twelveswood Moogles, and I'll not hear her good name slandered. Now, Ambassador, let's not ruffle each other's fur. I shall, of course, take your testimony into consideration. If I may, Chieftain, there's little room for trust twixt strangers. Might we not take this opportunity to learn more of each other? An excellent suggestion, Kupo. If the interests of fostering friendship and keeping an eye on you, I extend you the hospitality of Moghome. Prove yourselves worthy of our assistance and it will be yours. I shall be watching, Kupo. Tell me, in the world down below, do all of your kind look so different from one another? That must be terribly disconcerting. What was the Kupo Cop called you again? Koharu? Your names are as odd as your appearance. Have you ever considered a nice Moogle name? Moglin is taken, by the way, Kupo. As are Moghen, Mogmug, and Mogwen, these being the names of the 3 wise Moogles who will administer the momentous challenges that I have devised to match your worth. I call them the Trials of Trustworthiness. Undertake these trials and we shall soon see whether or not you are worthy of our aid. Okay. This is the part that everybody hates. With good reason, because these guys are assholes. Hello, yes, I am Moghan, the foremost alchemist in Mogholm, if you must know. If your tummy's gloopy or your wings are droopy, I have a potion to fix that. Or I would if I didn't keep running out of ingredients. Luckily, you're here to do my trial! Yes, go forth, mighty adventurer, and mightily pluck 3 sprigs of cloud's breath for me. You'll find it blooming near the entrance of Eel Tome. It's not the safest of places, so don't let yourself be too distracted by the pretty flowers, Kupo. Briar, guess what we're doing? Briar! I hate these Moogles so much. At least we can beat them up later in post Heavensward. That makes me happy that we can literally just beat the crap out of them in that one dungeon. I know there's one on top of here. What? Why am I waiting? Yeah, you know that dungeon where Hraesvelgr wants to test our might? They're literally the first boss. The Moogles are the first boss. I forget what the dungeon is called, though. Briar, which dungeon am I thinking of? No, it's not an instance. It's an actual dungeon. But yes, we can also beat the crap out of them in the Dark Knight instance. But I'm talking about the post Heavensward dungeon right before we go and fight Nidhogg again. I can't remember what it's called, though, and it's bothering me. Yeah. Did you have any trouble finding cloud's breath? I do not need it quite urgently. I do need it quite urgently, you know. Oh yes, he's a perfect Kupo. Now I have the main ingredient for my palm tonic. Speaking of which, how are you feeling, miss? Should you ever feel your palm losing its balance, then on your Moogle, Kupo. I don't have a palm. I'm not a Moogle. Sorkai, that's it. Thank you. You must have the pleasure of speaking. Yes, you have the pleasure of speaking with Mugmug. I know. I am the fluffiest, most enchanting creature you ever laid eyes upon, Kupo. It isn't easy being this adorable. I can barely make a stroll outside without those relentless Ravanians throwing themselves at me. Why, they look as if they just might gobble me right up. In any case, fleeing their overbearing adulation is growing a bit tiresome. Your trial, madame, is this. Find these ardent archosaurs and slap some manners into them, Kupo. Perhaps a firm smack on the snout will teach them to appreciate my charm from afar. I feel like this is the only one, like the only trial that they give us that isn't a chore that they don't want to do. It's like, hey, I'm having issues, help. But yeah, the other two are most definitely chores. The lazy assholes. Why are the Moogles like this, Briar? Why are they like this? Oh, I should have the chocobo. Chocobo, come! Help me beat up these dinosaurs. Yes. Thank you. Oh, there's another one. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? The plan I keep running into just ran past, put a regen on me. That was nice of her. Oh, right. I should repair my gear. Mender of sticks. I require your services. Okay, hold on. Now let me go through these. Rings. Boop. 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 Wait, that's the bracelet. Boop. Boop. That there. That also goes there, and then you go here. Perfect. I replaced my, these thingies, but it didn't replace any of this. That's okay. You're able to humble the mighty Dravanian devotees? Wonderful! You're as capable as I am captivating, Kupo. Still, my precious perfection does not excuse those flouts from pursuing me so mercilessly, their tongues lolling and bellies rumbling. The Dravanians and their ilk have much to learn about the acceptable acts of admiration. I think they're trying to eat you, honey. I think they're trying to eat you, good sir. That's not better than what I currently have. Mogwin's the name, and art is my game. When it comes to painting, there are none in Mogcombe who can match my talent with a brush, Kupo. I know why you have come. Chieftain Mogwin has demanded that I test your trustworthiness. But as I trust no one to create art that will satisfy me, I instead charge you with retrieving a masterpiece I seem to have misplaced. It was an ambitious and innovative work, guaranteed to fetch at least 4 Koopa nuts on the open market. You must find it. Question the masses. Surely a pebble painted with such vibrant color and unmistakable panache cannot have escaped the notice of every Moogle in Mogcombe. Why are they like this? Mogwin is missing his masterpiece, Kupo? Oh, you mean that paint-smeared mess of a pebble? I've not seen it recently. A fact for which my eyes are profoundly grateful. Wow. Rude. Mr. Mogwin has misplaced his masterpiece, Kupo. Oh, happy day! If I am the swifter in finding it, I will soon have a genuine Mogwin for the price of a little perspiration. Honestly, who has 4 Koopa nuts just lying about to spend on such luxuries? Oh my god. I don't know much about his stone, but I do know Mogwin's been creeping out the back way to Sawmill Summit from time to time, Kupo. Maybe he left it up there. Where is he? Well, what did you find out, Kupo? That you Moogles are assholes and I don't like you. Yes. Now that you mention it, I do seem to recall leaving my pebble out in the sun to dry. Ahem! The second part of your trial commences. Go adventure and retrieve my masterpiece before some art-starved admirer swipes the stone for himself. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? Moogles. More Ooh, ether current! Thank you! Okay, now it's somewhere in this way direction. Pretty burb! Now, there it is! Found it! Can I leave now? Can I go find Horace Velker, please? Whee! Do you have it, Kupo? Is my masterpiece safe? Yes, this is my work. Is it not exquisite? I call it Contemplations of Zenith. Thank you, madame. At last, I can exchange my art for those delectable Koopa nuts. Chieftain Moglin will hear of this Valerius deed. Yay! You'll have a god do your own chores. Kaharu, if that is what you insist on calling yourself, you have completed the trials of trustworthiness administered by the taskmasters Moghan, Mogmug, and Mogwen. During these grueling tests of character, I clearly observed your conduct, as well as that of your companions. And I am decided, Kupo. Gather your friends before me now, so that I need not repeat myself needlessly. What sorcery is this, that my heart should stir at mere fluffiness? Kaharu? No matter. What is it? Chieftain Moglin has made his decision? Well, let us not keep him waiting then. We've become such friends, Kupo. My Moogle cousins love to sing and dance as much as I do. Chieftain Moglin has finally come to a decision, has he? Well, I suppose I'd better fly over and see him then. Standing here in Mogholm, my thoughts turn inevitably to the legend of Good King Mogmog the 12th and his seat in the heavens. Like most, I thought it was nothing more than a myth, a story for younglings that grew with the telling, but with every passing moment I become more and more certain that we have discovered the origin of the tale. For full eager am I to hear what the chieftain has to say. Estinian! How go your trials, Warrior of Light? I myself have been sent on a number of expeditions to chastise the local dragon population. Did not the chieftain wish to avoid inflaming the Durranians? Such contradictions aside, our host seems entranced by the height of my leap. They compare me to Mog, a lance-wielding Moogle warrior of Eld, who also favored such attacks. 'Twas meant as a compliment, I expect, but I doubt these furry lumps could outleap a caracal lamb, much less a dragoon. Conclude your business here swiftly, Kaharu. I like not this place. He doesn't like the Moogles either. Good boy, Estinian, good boy. Are these trials over then? My tasks have been little more than household chores. If our hosts elect not to grant their aid after working us like pack chocobos, I shall demand compensation in Koopo nuts out of principle. But I hope it will not come to that. Let us hear the chieftain's verdict, shall we? Never have I seen such determined workers, Koopo, and it would have taken us moons to complete those jury chores and niggling errands. Oh my god. And have our labors proven the purity of our intentions, chieftain? Without a doubt. In fact, if there was never really all that much doubt to begin with. You are, after all, already friends with a fellow Moogle. But you see, before any meeting with Heavensward could take place, certain preparations need to be made. And what better way to help you pass the time by having to perform all those tiresome tasks that no one ever wants to do, Koopo? Yeah, you be afraid of the dragoon. Oh dear, the horn! Bring up the horn! Quickly now! We blow on this wondrous instrument whenever we wish to speak with the great worm, Koopo. We haven't perhaps been treating it with the care it deserves of late. I think Mogham may have sat on it, so we needed some time for cleaning and polishing and straightening. No lasting harm done, though. Now you need to simply head to Zenith, the worm's dwelling place to the west, and give the horn a good toot. We are in your debt, We are in your debt, chieftain. Thanks to your noble gift, we shall finally have a chance to plead our case to Heavensward. Very possibly, yes, but I wouldn't get my hopes up too high, Koopo. The old worm isn't terribly fond of, Your concern is appreciated, but I'm quite certain that Heavensward will welcome our overtures. Should we ever arrive at his lair, come, we have squandered enough time already. Gazelle. Chieftain Moglin, we thank you for your gracious hospitality. Though we must soon take our leave, I pray that we may continue to nurture the shoots of this new-sprung friendship twixt earth and sky. Of course, Koopo. Visit us whenever you wish. Consider Mog home, your home amongst the clouds. Can we punch them yet? Thanks for the help, Koopo. I doubt I would ever have found time for all those rotten chores. Hey, it wasn't my idea. If the chieftain had spent a little less time sitting about and a little more time chieftaining, things would never have gotten so messy in the first place. And he was the one who saw on the horn, by the way. But now all the errands are done and the horn is fixed, so all's well that ends well, eh, Koopo? Well, I expect you're eager to be on your way. Did I mention your friend Alphino is looking for you, Koopo? If not, Alphino is looking for you. I'll be waiting just outside stretching my wings. Let me know when you're ready to depart. To the best of my knowledge, we have all that we need for our trip to Zenith. And I believe the Elder Seer and her Rutuni will be making the journey back to Gridania. It would be remiss of us, I think, not to convey our gratitude to them before going our separate ways, shall we? Alphino, Kaharu, I do humbly thank you for what has been a most enlightening experience. Were it not for your pioneering spirit, the existence of these Moogles might never have been revealed to us. 'Tis we who should be thankful, Elder Seer. Were it not for your timely diplomacy, they would never have chosen to reveal themselves at all. And 'twas your presence, Kugelkop, that ultimately won us their trust. It must have taken great courage to leave the sanctuary of the Twelfthwood, and we are exceedingly glad that you did. It was my pleasure, Kupo. I've made so many new friends and have so many fantastic tales to tell of my kids' Moogles back home. And it is to our home that we must now return. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal, my dear friends. Can we punish them yet, Briar? 8th journey, Elder Seedseer. We too must be on our way. Praise Felger awaits. Warrior of Light, pray attend closely to your companion, Sir Estinian. Beneath that stoical facade, a storm of anguish seethes unseen. Alright, let's go. Hooray, Svelger, for the love of God, please. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. Have you said your goodbyes and dabbed away your tears, Kupo? Then we are indeed ready to go. As Chieftain Moglin already explained, the shiny instrument we gave you is the best means of grabbing Hraesvelgur's attention. I'll come along and show you the way to Zenith. That's the big palace way you need to blow the horn. First things first, though, we need to make for Azah. Oh, and watch out for rampaging dragons. Maybe that should have been the first thing, Kupo. Away! Right here, we are free of the Moogles! Free! Hold on. Let me see which Awu it is. Yeah, it's the Byaku Awu. It is indeed the Byaku Awu. Awu. Oh, do kindly piss off. Alright. More dragons to murder! Yay! Oh lord, oh god, oh god. There we go. Yep, no more. There are very many dragons in this area. Hello, Dungeon Master. How you doing? Summon stone. Yes, yes, give. Hello. Hello. Goodbye. Oh, I see that ether current. I see that ether current. I kinda thought it was Leo. Nice to see you in chat again. Give! 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 Yeah! Kaharu. Kaharu, work with me. Oh my god. Kaharu too eager. She jumping all over the place. Got it. Things were... Thank you, Chocobo, for that butt shot. Okay. Things were a bit bitey for a while there, but I think we've arrived in one piece, Kupo. I always wondered what has the dragons so awfully snappy. I mean, the bad ones are always bad, but they seem worse than usual. Oh, okay. I will like the code of casting, please. We may have a small problem, Kupo. When the winds are high like this, Hraesvelgr inevitably abandons his lofty perch and heads to the lands below to hunt. If you try blowing the horn now, I doubt he'd hear it. I suggest we stop at the clearing up ahead and rest until the wind dies down. Come on, Estinian. Umbral static. Oh, it's this. Ah, I like. Would you kindly piss off? Thank you. This should do nicely, Kupo. The winds will likely have died down by tomorrow, but until then, we might as well make ourselves comfortable. If we must interrupt our journey to so close to its end, I suppose this place is as good as any. And mayhap a brief respite from the hardships of the road will help clear our minds in readiness for the coming parley. Very well then, I believe a campfire is in order. Leave the gathering a fuel to me. I acquired a keen nose for firewood during my time in the frozen wastes of Kurthus. Clear our minds? 'Tis Master Alphino whose mind needs clearing. The thought of meeting a great worm in the flesh has befuddled the boy. Did you see him stroll away as if these ruins were not crawling with deadly beasts? Follow him, Kaharu, and see that the wildlife does not make a meal of our young friend. We'll have the camp ready by the time you return. I gotta go play mom to Alphino again, because he's being a little bit dumb. Let me down! Let me down! Oh god. Yay, Frida! There's an ether current nearby, but they might have removed that one. Hey, it's a tree! Good chocobo. I don't even know where Alphino is. Oh, I see him up there. I see him. He's right there. I think, or is that? No, that's Alpha No! Alpha No! Hi. Okay, honey. I'm gonna go make sure nothing else tries to attack you. Tree! Back to Estinian. Do kindly piss off. Honestly, so rude. Hi, Estinian. I see I was right to worry about the boy's safety. Once Alphino returns with the wood, we can see about supper. The Ice Queen has filled a pot with what looks like stew ingredients, ready for the fire. Yay! Look at this! Moogle asleep. Ah, few things compare to the simple pleasure of sitting beside a crackling fire of one's own making. Ha! So speaks a great explorer. Until recently, you wouldn't have recognized firewood if it came along with kindling and a flint. 'Tis well you had instructed me so patiently then. But yes, left to my own devices, I would have been compelled to signal Yzael with a pile of damp leaves. I was born the pampered son of a Charlian dignitary, and, along with my twin, became the youngest student ever to be accepted into the studium. How proud I was to match wits with scholars and philosophers. How ignorant of my own shortcomings. That hubris invited manipulation and betrayal, and led to the downfall of the Scions. We are all of us guilty of similar ignorance. How many men lay down their lives, never knowing what it is that they fight for, never questioning that which they have been taught to believe. 'Twas only upon meeting Hraesvelgr that I learned the truth hidden within our history. Were it not for that chance encounter, I would never have vowed to tear down the Holy See and expunge the falsehoods that with which it fans the flames of conflict. I would have lived and died in ignorance. That the truth has driven me to do terrible things I cannot deny, but I would rather sin in the pursuit of peace than imagine myself virtuous and perpetuating a needless war. If this journey has taught me anything, it is the importance and difficulty of holding on to one's convictions in the face of failure, of striving always to replace one's ignorance with knowledge. You are well on your way, Master Alphino. At your age, I was but a fool, swinging a spear, with scarcely a thought in my head. Even now, I struggle to acknowledge the misconceptions under which I have labored. Sitting here amongst these grand ruins, how can I deny that man and dragon once lived in peace? But for all that such an age existed, But for all that such an age existed, we are now at a time of war. Nidhogg killed my family, and no quirk of history will exonerate him. I may be ignorant of how the Dragonsong War began, but if we do not put an end to this conflict now, I can say for a certainty that it will only breed more vengeful souls such as mine. In my hands resides the power to vanquish a great worm. If Ishgard's survival rests on me wielding that power, I will slay Nidhogg myself, orders or no. Estinian, you gave your word. My word is contingent upon the success of our parley. Show me the strength of your convictions, Lady Iceheart. Convince Hraesvelgr of the righteousness of your cause. Doubt not but that I shall, Dragoon. Well, when's willing, we shall find our answers on the morrow. Let us sleep now and face our fate with the rising of the sun. I'll take this, thank you. I got the right one, right? Yes. Oh, this looks suitably weird on her. The campfire was so cozy. I must have fallen asleep, Kupo. But do you feel how the winds have shifted? They will have blown Hraesvelgr back to the skies above Zenith. I'm sure of it. This is your chance to climb to the highest floor of the palace and summon him with a tour of that shiny horn. So, I'll be heading back now, if it's all the same to you. Good luck, Kupo. It was nice knowing you. Do you really think he's gonna kill us? Are you serious? Oh my god. Why are Moogles the way that they are? Hello, summoning stone. I will take this, thank you. Make my ones a lot, apparently. And up we go. To meet with Hraesvelgr. Oh. This must have been such a beautiful place to be in. Here we are. Okay, Midnight, you're kind of being a nuisance. Ah! Well, my phone fell into my keyboard and triggered my chat log, so we get to deal with that now.
Svelga.
It's a game.
By the 12. Mine ears hear the tongue of dragons, yet the meaning rings clear within my mind. How can that be?
I don't think that is this is ever explained, is it? I'm pretty sure this is never explained in the game, like, at all. How the dragons can speak in their old tongue, and yet even people without the echo can still understand them.
Svelga, do you not remember me? 'Twas I whom you found in Dravania. I who glimpsed the truth.
Uzale, you need to put on short. You need to put on pads. How are you not cold?
The truth about your past. About Shiva.
Ah, you made him angry.
But speak it I must. I have summoned Shiva's soul from the beyond and offered myself as her vessel. She has made her heart known to me. I have surrendered mine to her. Do you not see, my love? I am Shiva reborn.
Oh, Uzale. Oh, Uzale, Uzale, Uzale.
Then the spirit that answered me.
Be that as it may, Lord Hraesvelga, Izel's desire to heal the rift between man and dragon is real, and it has borne us this far. We would spare both our kind and yours the ravages of this senseless war. Pray join your voice to ours in a call for peace and forgiveness.
Esk ein isorn ul an, dran il ul esk afashi. Fia ein kinu, losken stari strari dran, lar hes neshnel. Toham aftar, feskdu fowan istrasi, on lis el esta ithon. Sai el if in erned, or ratatoska, stray ul mornin. Seski anunan isna, kasea, tienen el moniken, eskian, hesnes is hesnes as list. Is lunfta, sithra antu Bish an esh el la. Sith more iratatoska nis eg ed, for always in dar. Kal Egmon thorn in Yui, ale fei in later. Working Ushkin in San es Shisnishka Stadranam Mohi Snodoan Kin Ulteda Maas Mornish.
Your tale bears scant resemblance to the one I was taught. How convenient that it should absolve your kind of all responsibility. But tell me, dragon, why should I believe your version of events?
Mixai eski listain, non miki shisikin, kua ala ein el. Sai an usi afa an thornizeg. Non wo I alamon a, skor esk nik I es. Nes so I an on in, do in an, olodram.
Yeah, the heretics. Yep.
Ishgard's so-called heretics.
Sale, orn I nesh iratatoska kin for elna. Sith is nesh dokin an.
Then the seed lies within us.
Yes.
Is ros esh idram, oloson inizeg, non nish I espdiedran en, wa ulwa skola es alakin el andranken, mondo.
Ye gods! I have borne witness to such a transformation. Looked on as a heretic assumed the shape of a dragon. I imagined it some manner of Dravanian enchantment. But if any Ishgardian, regardless of allegiance, has such potential within them, 12 forgive us. To think of all the dragons we've slain!
War ulmon ala an as drapo, Seskmoni, se ang in Kinisheg.
Oft have I wondered why Nidhogg did not simply raze Ishgard to the ground. Now I have my answer. He has no intention of winning the Dragonsong War, for it is no war at all, but vengeance, an eternal requiem sung for his murdered sister.
Ice in Draho, ale Inia in.
I have not come this far only to admit defeat. We can still return the eye to Nidhogg and beg forgiveness for our ancestors' crimes. Mayhap our words will sway him.
Oh, Yazael, Yazael, Yazael.
Ja an, lis as an in la tu ole in an hers isu. Mik du se in sori, nosta no lis as dui for in. An isi a uldran as niseg for, lai as nesh I an iratatoska. An sith son ishi, eskfa ulgar los an. Snosk for an, non an lis I an, skol ilens an.
Oh. Oh well. Goodbye. Hraesvelgr was every bit as awe-inspiring as I imagined. His voice fairly dripped with power, the will behind his words so undeniable that it transcended my ignorance of the dragon's tongue. Tis but a pity that I misliked what he said. So far did we travel, even unto the very heavens themselves, only to be dismissed like unruly children. And far from mitigating this humiliation, the hidden truths we have learned serve only to prove that our grand mission of peace was destined to fail from the first. Nothing will deter Nidhogg from his course.
Well, what do you propose we do now? I, for one, am intent on continuing to the east.
What is there to be found in the east?
Nidhogg's lair, the Eyrie, is said to lie in that direction. And the eye tells me he is near.
You cannot still mean to slay him.
At this point, Yazael, that is literally the only way we are going to end this war.
You cannot still mean to stop me. I have been true to my word, and aided you in this fool's errand with Hraesvelgr. But your efforts at Parley have come to naught, Lady Iceheart. I would see Ishgard saved, and for that, Nidhogg must die.
With the tale of our ancestors' vile betrayal yet ringing in your ears, you speak of continuing this war?
Nay, lady. I would but pierce its vengeful heart. When Nidhogg dies, this war shall die with him.
A moment, Estinian. You yourself spoke of the Great Worm's strength, that you believed him powerful enough to raise your city to the ground. How then are we few to challenge him?
Good question.
Even behind the stout walls of Ishgard, with an army of knights manning the defenses, our victory would be hard won. Yet you propose to contend with the beast in his own lair.
In close combat, this will afford us an advantage. And if the tales are true, the Warrior of Light has bested many an invincible foe.
Also true.
But such speculation is meaningless if we cannot even find the worm. Our first task must be to seek out Nidhogg's lair.
The story of this nation grows bloodier by the moment. Must death always be answered with more of the same?
Such is the way of things, I fear. I shall consider it a miracle if mine armor is not stained crimson ere this conflict is ended.
I should be blinded by my own lies. Everything I believed, everything I thought I was, gone. All gone.
Leave her. Your words will not reach her now. And we have not the time to wait for her to gather up the pieces of her shattered faith.
The truth can often be harsh, but sometimes the truth is what needs to be said. And Estinian is right. The only way that this war will ever end, will ever cease, is if we slay Nidhogg himself. Yep. Another dragon? Nope. Continuing on. On Maya Woo. Come, Chocobo. Oh, no, no. Is there one more? There is. Beautiful. We go. To the hand. Could you not? Doesn't look like there's an ether current in there anymore. Nope, no ether current in there anymore. That's okay.
Is that it?
There it is.
Aye, that would be the Eyrie. I feel Nidhogg's presence through the eye. His caustic hatred gnawing at my soul. 'Twould seem the death of his consort has put him on guard. Mark how he wards his lair with tempestuous winds.
A similar barrier once barred our entrance to the Primal Garuda's domain, until we discovered the means by which it could be penetrated.
Yes.
Mayhap it is time we called upon Master Garland. It will be just like the good old days, no?
Give me pants, thank you. A force of sufficient power to break through a primal's defenses might considerably grant us access to the Eyrie. And I can offer no better solution. Pray consult this engineer friend of yours. Very well, on the condition that you swear not to lure Nidhogg from his lair in our absence. And steal all the glory for myself, you mean? Nay, I am not so selfish as that. Contact me by Link Pro when your preparations are complete, and we shall set forth from Ishgard together. I suggest we rendezvous back at St. Renette's Forum, Kaharu. From what I gleaned of the Holy Sea's decidedly ambitious airship project, Sid will still be in Ishgard. Alright, back to Ishgard we go! I will equip this. Beautiful. I am going over here. Alphino, I have found you. Hello. When you last saw Master Garland, he was advising the Ishgardians on their ailing airship, correct? In that case, he might still be at Camp Cloudtop. Failing that, we could try the airship landing, or maybe even the Skysteel manufactory. But let us not waste time searching aimlessly. Someone in the city is sure to know where to find him. The question is, who? So Amerik would seem the obvious choice, but there is no guaranteeing that he'll be able to grant us an audience at such short notice. Ah, I have it! Count Edmond's youngest son prides himself on knowing all of the Holy Sea's juiciest rumors. Let us return to the manor and see if Lord Madeleine is about. I can just do this. Yeah. Let us go. Madeleine! Madeleine. I require your knowledge. Ah, the hero returns. How goes the fight, old girl? Well, I trust. In search of a Sid Garland, you say? Then say no more. The taverns are full of talk, and the name of said silver-haired genius has cropped up more often than most. I hear he has been tasked with getting that monstrous airship the Holy See commissioned to actually fly. To would seem, the project has been plagued with mishaps from the first. In any case, Garland Ironworks employees are known to frequent the airship landing, and I'll wager the master does too. The airship landing? Yes, I thought as much. Come, Kaharu, we must find Sid and trouble him for his expert opinion. Thanks, Madeline. Bye! The airship landing is literally right there. I can just run to it, no problem. I want to cast Glamour. What should I Glamour? You know what? Let's do the Almegan jacket. Oh, ooh, pants. Pants need to be Glamour. Yes. That's better. Hey Sid, how you doing? Kaharu, Alphino, how fare you both? Not terribly well, judging by your faces. Greeting, Master Garland. I am sure it will come as little surprise when I tell you we have need of a favor. Another wind barrier? And you say it was conjured by Nidhogg? The Enterprise could certainly take you where you need to go, but she would not fare well against the dragons. She's agile for a ship her size, but not that agile. The Dravanians would fly rings around her. And if they took it into their heads to incinerate the rigging, there would be precious little we could do to avoid them. But there must be something we can do, some manner of weapon we could employ? Estinian stands vigil at the edge of the churning mists, but we do not know how much longer. Alright, I didn't say it was impossible. I said it was impossible for the Enterprise. We need a smaller boat. Biggs, Wedge, it's time we gave that new toy of yours a proper field test. It's probably best if I let the lads show you. Come on, the manufactory's not far. Sky Steel. Hi, I am here. Show me. Our little project's just inside. Oh, you're going to like this one.
Feast your eyes upon our latest and greatest feat of engineering. We call it a mana cutter.
After you put down Gaius, Wedge and me struck out on our own for a bit, and started work on the successor to the tiny Bronco.
Impressive little thing, isn't she? My talent for ship design has plainly rubbed off on them. They've adapted the principles of corrupted crystal technology and constructed a mechanism which converts ether from its surroundings into elemental wind. Said wind is then harnessed by the specially engineered sails, providing the craft with propulsion and lift. All in all, a most elegant solution. I'm actually a little upset that I didn't think of it myself.
The design does, however, come with one small flaw.
And what is that flaw?
The energy conversion ratio is bloody awful. To generate enough power to get you off the ground, you need to be in an area awash with predominantly wind-aspected ether.
Yeah, that's fair.
In other words, there are a few places you can fly, and lots of places you can't.
The new Ishgardian airship hasn't left the boys much time for tinkering, meaning it may be a while before this particular project takes off. If you'll forgive the pun.
Tataru!
Tataru, what's happened?
I've been looking all over for you. There's been word from Aldar. It's about Her Grace the Sultana.
It seems you're required elsewhere. Leave the Mana Cutter with us. We'll see that she's airworthy and suitably equipped to slice through those winds. You, meanwhile, should concentrate on providing Raoban and the Sultana whatever help they need.
Of course. And this is where I'm going to end the stream because I've been streaming for nearly four hours now. We are about... Hold on. Where are we? Where is Heavensward? Yeah, we're getting to be about halfway through Heavensward now, so we've gotten pretty far into the story, and next time I stream, we will go see what the deal in Ul'dah with the Sultana is. So, thank you to everyone who joined me for the stream, thank you to everyone who watches the video afterward, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!